her head covered in blood. She is alone in the dimly lit library. Mireille continues to write in her notebook about a story she has been working on. The story is about a lonely bird named A and a fox who become friends. In class, their advisor announces the winner of the book report contest. Their class president, Beck Hab, a popular girl in the class, wins first prize. The whole class claps for the achievement of their president. Then the teacher tells them that Mireille wins third place. The lone girl walks up to the classroom to receive her award. Taeyong, one of their classmates, and Mireille's crush, claps for her, but slows down because no one else in class is clapping. In gym class, their PE teacher instructs them to pair up to do some stretches. Mireille doesn't have anyone, so the teacher is paired with her. Moments later, the girls line up to jump over a jumping box. It's Mireille's turn. As she is about to go, the girls that are lined up behind her see blood on her jogging pants. Mireille tries to borrow a jacket from one of her classmates to cover herself, but they just ignore her. The PE teacher instructs her to go to the nurse's office. She returns to class afterwards, changed in her school uniform. She finds her seat is covered in chalk dust. The teacher tells her to sit down, so she has no choice but to do so. Moments later, their school bell rings and it's time for lunch. Beck Hab tries to ask Mireille to eat lunch with them, but the other girls give a look in disbelief. Mireille walks out and goes to the library to eat lunch there and to relax alone. After school, she makes her way home. Her bedroom door has big visible cracks showing that her alcoholic father would usually try to break her door down. She turns her computer on to play Wondering World, the only place she finds comfort from her unfortunate reality. In that game, she is known as Sir Dark, and she has made virtual friends, including a character named Hui Na. Not long after, she hears her father banging on her bedroom door. The father is currently drunk and insists on opening her door. Mireille turns her computer off and hides in her closet, covering her mouth to make sure her father doesn't hear her. The father enters and is about to open her closet when the phone rings. Mireille stays in her closet for quite some time, even soaking her socks with urine. The next day in school, Beck Hab goes to Mireille and drags her to one of the toilet stalls to speak with her in private. The class president asks Mireille if she wants the two of them to help each other with their writing. They then go to the library where Mireille shows Beck Hab the journal where she writes her story. Beck Hab suggests she enter the literature contest, but Mireille doesn't want to. Much to Mireille's dismay, Wondering World will be ending soon, and she has no choice but to say goodbye to her virtual friends. Hui Na, the female character whom Mireille is close with in the game, tells Mireille that if she ever needs someone to speak with, then she can meet Hui Na in a specific location. In school, the class advisor puts his pot of orchid by the windowsill and tells his students about a group activity. Mireille is grouped with the class president, Taeyong, one bully named No Ran, and another loner student. They go to the home of Beck Hab and prepare the dish. No Ran accidentally hits Mireille that causes the girl to get a first-degree burn. Beck Hab brings Mireille upstairs to fix her wound up. The loner student accidentally takes a photo of them leaving. That night, Beck Hab gets a sermon from her parents, especially her father. Her father is pissed at her daughter inviting her classmates. He then forbids his daughter to no longer enter the literary writing contest. This shows that even the class president, whose life seems so perfect, is also going through so much in her own home. The next day, Taeyong tells Mireille that he wants to learn to play the drums after watching the movie Drumline together the day before. Mireille, infatuated with her classmate, supports his decision. Mireille is excited to be getting close to her crush and decides to visit Hui Na. She goes to the rendezvous point and finds a person in a mascot offering free hugs. Mireille introduces herself as Sir Dark from the game. They talk for a while and Mireille tells Hui Na that she is infatuated with a classmate. Hui Na gives Mireille a keychain to give to the boy she likes. In school the next day, Mireille asks Beck Hab if she thinks boys will like the keychain. The class president begins teasing her friend. Then Taeyong enters the library, causing Beck Hab to stop playing. As she walks out, she tells Taeyong that he needs a haircut. Mireille tells Taeyong about the story she is currently writing. He suggests that she should join the literary contest. Afterwards, he begins telling her about his trip to Hongdae. They ride the bus together after school while Taeyong talks about his trip. The next day in PE class, Beck Hab grabs Mireille and partners with her, making No Ran partnerless. They talk about the story of Mireille and she tells the class president that she has entered the contest. This worries Beck Hab and she confronts her in the library. Mireille tells her that it's because she was convinced. Suddenly, Taeyong enters the library with a fresh haircut. He tries to ask Beck Hab if she is interested in walking home together. Mireille witnesses all this and is heartbroken. During their class, the advisor announces to the class that Mireille and Beck Hab passed the same story. This surprises Mireille. She looks at Taeyong, who knows about the real writer of the story, but he doesn't say anything. After Mireille is confronted by the advisor in the teacher's lounge, she sees Bekhab with Taeyong. Mireille is bullied again because her classmates think she plagiarized their class president's story. After being locked in one of the cubicles in the girls' toilet, No Ran opens the cubicle and confronts Mireille, knowing full well that Mireille is the real author. She goes home devastated. She realizes that she has run out of pads, so she goes through her father's closet for money. Her dad catches her and hits her several times, causing her to get bruises on her eye and mouth. She tries asking for 1,001 to buy herself a present since it's her birthday. The father tells her that having her was a big mistake. This breaks her heart as she goes to the grocery store to buy more pads with the money she has been trying to save. The next day, she goes to Huey Na and says her goodbyes. As she walks away, Huey Na grabs her shirt and drags her to the back building, revealing the person under the mascot. A boy named Jae-hee. Mireille is surprised to see a boy underneath the suit. Jae-hee tells her that she shouldn't have any regrets before dying. He volunteers to do things they want to do before dying. Jae-hee takes out a small notebook where he has a list of things he wants to do. One of the things on his list includes going to Hongdae. They go to a restaurant that offers free pizza if they manage to finish the whole thing in 20 minutes or less. That night, Jae-hee thanks Mireille for helping him cross out one of the activities on his list. He gives her a notebook where she could write her own bucket list. He tells her that if there are things she wants to do with someone, he will do it with her. He also tells her to start writing her will. So that night, Mireille begins writing a will and a list of her own. The next day, Jae-hee is in dire need of a company to cross another thing off of his list, visiting the dentist. He sits next to Mireille in the waiting area, and children with their moms are also seated there. Mireille is confused as to why her friend needs company. He admits that he is scared and wants Mireille to hold his hand. They hold hands for a brief moment and then the dentist calls for Jae-hee. In the evening, part of Mireille's list includes doing a role play, with Jae-hee pretending to be Taeyong. Mireille confronts Jae-hee as Taeyong and he goes along with it. Mireille asks him if he'll be sad if she is gone. Jae-hee says he will be and then hugs Mireille. After their role play, Jae-hee tells her that it's not real. If she wants to speak to Taeyong, she needs to do it in real life. In school the next day, Mireille goes back to class after being absent for several days. Her classmates are all shocked to see her there and begin talking bad about her. Then Mireille confronts Bekhab, telling her to confess. The class president ignores her. So Mireille goes to the class advisor and tells her about the plagiarism and how it's a big deal to her. The advisor doesn't seem too worried and tells Mireille to brush it off, leaving the girl devastated once more. After school, rain pours hard. Mireille realizes this and goes to Jae-hee, who is under the shade wearing the mascot costume. She shades him under the umbrella and they walk out of the park. They talk about wanting to see a movie, and so they go to the movie theater and watch a movie. The next day, the class advisor shows Mireille an article in the newspaper about the plagiarism issue. Mireille and Bekhab are investigated by the Board of Education. The two girls are quiet as they are being pushed to admit who copied whom. Not long after, No Ran goes running to her classroom and tells their classmates that Bekhab admitted to copying Mireille's work. The whole class is surprised. Soon afterwards, the class advisor assigns a new class president who is now No Ran. Most of the girls in the class begin following her and they have also started bullying Bekhab, who begins isolating herself because of how her classmates treat her. They put chalk dust all over her seat, lock her in the girls' toilet and soak her with water. Meanwhile, Jae-hee and Mireille go to an amusement park because it's part of their bucket list. They try out different rides and spend quality time together. As they sit, Jae-hee spots a couple wearing matching yellow headbands, so he insists on buying the same headbands for the both of them. Mireille then takes lots of pictures of Jae-hee. He wants to make sure that his funeral photo will be a happy one. The next day, Jae-hee finally crosses out the last part of his bucket list, to apologize to his former best friend whom he bullied in the past, despite not being forgiven by the ex-best friend. Jae-hee crosses it out and tells Mireille that he's finished with his list. He throws away his notebook and leaves Mireille in the mascot costume. One day, Bekhab is forced to clean the windows in school as ordered by their new class president, No Ran. Mireille begins helping Bekhab. No Ran tries to stop Mireille from helping their former friend because she's being punished. Mireille shows No Ran the wound that she unintentionally had given Mireille in the past, telling her that it's all an accident and time will heal everything, even the plagiarized work. After their class advisor announces that Mireille wins the literary contest, they are ordered to clean the outside of their classroom. Mireille steals their advisor's precious potted orchid and the entire class chases after the teacher chasing Mireille. She climbs up the highest floor of the building and throws the potted plant, accidentally falling in the process. She lands safely on the ground without a single scratch, relieving her teacher and classmates. Sometime later, Jae-hee says goodbye to Mireille, but she insists that he needs to write her a really good will. Jae-hee realizes that his new friend cares for him just as much as he cares for her. Winter arrives, Jae-hee leaves for Alaska. He gives her a letter for Mireille to open once he leaves. After they say their goodbyes, Mireille walks away and forces herself to stop crying. She feels alone again. As she opens the